We all know the song Countdown by
Yeah.
a little indie artist called Beyonce, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's go with
I've
yes.
seen that.
So we're all going to try and do that.
We.
We're all going to try and do that riff.
What?
All right.
Antonio was
Sky?
pretty decent. Okay. Antonio, okay, everyone shut the fuck.
Okay, everyone. Okay, we're all going to go one at a time.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
That was a good one, though. But you're going to do it
That
again.
was good-
start
that was a
with-
good practice
Let's
round.
start with Sky.
I'm hungover. Boy.
Wait, she says boy?
Yeah,
Oh.
that's what I thought she was saying.
Oh.
Boy. I think my first one was way more natural.
Too bad it didn't count.
The second time.
But it's staying in.
Okay.
Don't you dare fucking edit that out.
Dahlia.
Boy.
That was like a firecracker.
So is it just like a scale? I guess it's just a scale.
Like, the fact that she can hit all those notes so seamlessly is fucking astounding.
Iconic.
It is Ketzel.
Boy. Boy.
I heard Lunch Lady Ketzel come out. I heard her. I saw her. Oh,
Since
she's
when-
real.
Since when is there a lunch lady Getzel, dude?
Oh, shit.
Dolly, you don't know the legend of Lunch Lady Ketzel?
It was a... That was a bit. That was a bit.
No, that was a bit.
That was
And
a
it
bit.
landed.
That was a
It-
bit that almost took your life.
All good bits do. All good bits do. That was a bit in high school where I pretended to have a lunch lady voice, which was very deep and raspy in a way I can no longer do in my adult life.
Okay. Is that the
countdown.
Is that the
3,
Yeah, that's all
2,
I
1.
Hey y'all, welcome to Sit Down Loser. We're watching a movie. My name is Dahlia.
I'm Sky.
I'm Antonio.
And I'm Ketzel.
And we're just a team of 4 aliens learning to communicate with humies who watch movies that everyone else has watched, except one of us is a loser who hasn't. Today, we're watching a movie that the Academy snubbed for Best Actress, Denis Villeneuve's Arrival, released in 2016. And today's loser is... Dolly and Sky.
And
I'm
Sky.
hungover.
I threw up.
I grew up.
We're both a little hungover. We went out yesterday. It was great.
Little do you know, that's a secret tool that's going to help us later.
That's the secret to help us later.
Oh, God.
Hi.
First off, I would also like to say, Ketzel, welcome back.
Welcome. You were gone for
2 episodes.
I
You were
honest-
partying, dude.
I
Living
honestly
your best
forgot.
life.
It's a
I forgot
pleasure.
I was here.
It's a pleasure to be back. It's a pleasure to be included. I'm glad I was allowed back. Hi, how was it without me? And I want you to tell me in detail how much you missed me.
We said it in the
Can I do
episode.
it
It's
in
so
3 words?
funny. It's so funny you say that.
Can I do it in 4 words or less?
Yes.
Flavor was missing.
The umami.
I don't know about umami
The
so much
umami.
as savory. More like the funk was
Umami.
missing.
Yeah, there's a certain
The
stench
stank.
that wasn't there.
The stank was gone.
I do bring
Yeah.
the
Like the
stank.
good kind of stank.
That's bold.
It was like, it's like missing blue cheese. Some people do without it a lot, but some people are like,
I'm the blue cheese of cheeses.
you definitely are.
Anyway, we got to be back. Let's get into this.
Yeah. Well, we were watching Arrival.
Yeah, we are.
Isn't that just so crazy? Here we are. Antonio's favorite movie. Shut the fuck up, you guys. You have to stand up. You have to stand up and show everybody
My
your
shirt. I have a shirt.
This is why I said what I said. Look at
I have
that.
a shirt. It's one of the
Delicious.
reasons we picked this
It's
movie
the-
is because I love Arrival.
It's the only reason we're recording visually, is so we can show you the
I'm
shirt.
Arrival's biggest fan.
Arrival's biggest fan right here, right now.
One of them.
I'm crying, dude.
I was on Reddit one time, and then some fucker
Once.
like posted just once. Don't do it. Don't do Reddit, guys. It's
Yeah.
terrible.
What'd you do on Reddit, Antonio?
Oh, some
What'd you do to Reddit?
No, I was on Reddit and some gay was posting a picture of their like new tattoo and it was like a rainbow or something super colorful and everything. And I'm like looking, I was like, is that an Arrival tattoo? And that's what I like fixated on for like a good minute. And it's probably one of my most liked comments on Reddit, I think, because it was just random.
And I did go viral after that.
Guys, you might call me an influencer.
Oh my god.
Hey, if they don't talk to us for this episode, Arrival, I don't even know if they're posting
The
it
aliens
on social medias.
The
I don't
aliens?
know.
Are the aliens
like,
watching?
wait, is Arrival
Look,
a person?
guys,
Stop
I'm
ruining the movie
biggest...
for me. I haven't seen it. I was
What?
going to say, like,
Did you
on
not
social
know?
media channels.
Did you not know it was about aliens?
Well, now I do.
Oh shit! I even
my
knew
bad.
It was about...
I thought everyone knew that.
I think
This
I did
is
know that,
this
though.
is the original alien superstar. Wink.
Wink.
Wink wonk.
I disagree.
I know the original
So-
alien superstar is fucking
Xenomorph.
Slither.
All right. Why do we pick this movie, you guys?
Because Antonio.
Because it's Antonio's favorite movie.
Wow, you guys didn't know that?
I did not. I had no idea.
It's not. It's. I
This
don't
is
know
the
if it's my
first time I'm
actual favorite
hearing.
movie, but it's one of the ones that I will watch constantly. And I'm like, I love this movie.
It was between. let me make this clear. It was between this and Ready Player One.
That's all.
Huh.
It's a solid like one. But I haven't watched Ready Player One in a minute.
I think the fact that you own a shirt should prove that this is your favorite
Well,
movie.
I might have bought this shirt at some point in between deciding that we were going to do Arrival at some point and today. So I've had this shirt for a minute. I just haven't worn it because I was going to wear it for this.
I just wanted to bring it out.
I just wanted to.
I bought
Special
this shirt this
occasion.
morning.
Fresh from Amazon.
No, it's Redbubble because honestly, some of the coolest stuff is on Redbubble.
No.
Redbubble,
no.
sponsor us. Redbubble, sponsor us.
This is from
Anyway.
T-Public.
Sponsor us.
Printyourshirt.com.
Sponsor us.
Okay.
I don't even know if that's an actual website. I just threw words.
I'm hungover.
I threw up.
Okay. But one of the other reasons this is on the list is because it's one of the best movies of 2016, which was snubbed. It was right up there next to Moonlight and La La Land, but there were a couple of like things that disqualified it for some of the categories, and
Will you go
some
into
they
that
were just
later?
like,
Yeah, because
Oh,
I'm
okay.
curious to
I want to
know
know.
why. Because I know a lot of people feel
this
the same way about,
That was
especially
a really...
Best Actress. Because I know.
Oh,
Amy is
we
in
are going to
this.
talk about that when we get to Strong Cast later, and you're going to tell me whether or not they did it wrong or right.
Okay.
Also,
What a
I'll be
terrible
honest. I love musicals, but La La Land,
I didn't like La La Land.
it was
I've never
okay.
seen it.
I like Ryan Gosling.
year. Cute movie.
That's it.
Overrated.
When he tap danced, I was like, hell fucking yeah. And then that was in the very beginning, and then I was like, okay.
That was it. So
Yeah,
that
I
scene where
didn't-
they tap dance is to the beginning, and that's it.
It's like not the beginning, but it's like in like the them meeting and stuff. So I'm like, I'm sure this is a lot better than La La Land.
I want to know why Arrival got robbed.
No one really knows.
I know.
They just know that they were snubbed.
Moonlight is also a very good movie that I have not seen.
I've never
still haven't
seen
seen
either
it.
one of these. I've only seen Arrival, and I love this movie.
Moonlight is great,
Yeah.
but it was mostly like male actors. So
Okay. Point C.
point C: aliens, communication, romance.
It's like the
Romance.
I didn't know there was love in this movie.
I didn't know that
Oh.
either. I just
Okay.
knew aliens and
Oh,
communication.
it's like obvious from like the first moment. Like
Stop it, Getzel.
it's so obvious.
So
Fuck.
obvious.
So obvious. It's like
point-
it shouldn't be any shocker.
It's human on alien. Fucking.
Why would
kidding,
you tell
no.
me that,
Why?
dude? Ketzel! Shut the
That's
fuck up,
a
bro.
spoiler.
I'm kidding.
No, you're not. You fucking ruined it.
No, I'm kidding. I legit fucking kidding.
Go to the next fucking point, dude.
So, anyways,
I said JK.
Antonio, what's the why?
Pick me up. The bit didn't land.
oh, the bit landed. She landed, but she blew up. It was like a scene out of Final Destination.
See,
That was
also
our last episode that you
episode.
guys should listen to it.
Anyways, wait,
Yes, and go on. D.
Is that right?
It's right.
Okay. I was like, is that the right order?
Yeah, it is.
It's one of the few adaptations liked by the original writer. It's actually based off of a very short story called Story of Your Life. And every time I say that, I think of the One Direction song. And it just starts playing in my head, like right now.
Why did you just do that to me?
Dolly's gonna kill both of you.
This is my favorite time to like poke the bear with Dahlia. I'm like,
I can
But-
be not nice,
So like,
That can be your
it's
angle.
stuck in my head.
or I can be your Damon.
I can be a bitch.
Stupid. But so Ted Chiang wrote this short story. It's part of, and this actually I really liked his books. I've read both Story of Your Life and Other Stories, as well as Exhalation and Stories. Or is it Story of Your Life and Other Works? They're both very good, and I heartily recommend, if you like sci-fi at all, reading those. I definitely do. And so, but they changed the name, obviously, because the name Story of Your Life does not super land well. The bit does not land. So they changed it over to Arrival. And there are a couple of other changes to this movie that make more sense in the scope of, like, making a movie compared to the book. And Ted Chiang was, like, all for it. It's really rare that, you know, a novelist likes the adaptation, and it's even harder when it's usually, like, a sci-fi thing.
You know,
So-
most of them are not even alive to see those things happen.
Right?
Because a lot of sci-fi was written in the before times.
Exactly. See War of the Worlds.
what?
Dang. Just a quiet, just a soft dang.
This is Antonio's movie, damn it.
I wasn't trying to be funny. I was legitimately being like, dang, you're right.
They can't
I
not.
know.
They can't not bring funk to the
You're
table.
hungover. Everything that Ketzel says, you're gonna die in it.
No, it was funny because there's just a soft dang. Just the softest dang I've ever
Look,
heard.
we're like a different version of like the Spice Girls, except I might have like dual parts. That's Funk Spice. This is Bitter Spice.
I'm Stank Spice. Come on.
Okay, you can be Stink Spice. You're Sweet Spice, and I'm either Hostile Spice.
Wait, can I be
or
sassy?
Classy Spice?
Sassy Spice. What's it? Sorry, what was this? What was the second one you said?
Classy Spice.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Now wait a minute.
He's classy and hostile. He's
I'm
posh.
Swank Spice.
Your drips.
Drip Spice.
This is also, I think, the first time the four of us have been together in a while.
Like
That's why the energy is
I
so
think
high.
that's why it's too much.
The
We're so high.
energy is in like the Chili's tonight.
Okay, so movie.
What do you guys know about it?
Aliens, communication, romance.
I guess there's some
Amy Adams.
interspecies fucking that I am just brand.
There's not.
Y'all ever heard of this thing called hentai?
I have to immediately check out of this conversation right now. Dahlia has left the chat.
I almost
I-
drowned.
Are you throwing up of this?
Look.
Or did you throw up? Or
It
did
almost
you,
it went like halfway in my nose.
Good lord. Okay, you know what? I don't know anything about this movie, truly, except that Amy Adams is in it, and that's it.
I just know it's about aliens and communication. I had no idea about the romance. That was a joke. I was just joshing back then, guys.
I'm totally steering the ship into an iceberg.
But yeah, I know it's Antonio's favorite movie. And he's super excited about this, and I know it's very
The critical response.
thank
is high.
you.
Acclaimed.
Critically
Acclaimed.
acclaimed.
Critically
That's what I was
acclaimed.
going
There's
for.
the word. Yeah.
There's what I was trying to say.
We're just getting our back into our groove, okay, everybody?
It's a Oscar film, so or should have been
Huh?
because I know it was like golden.
There's a
it was,
couple of
watch
things.
what you say.
It was award circles though, right? It was like
Yeah, no,
Golden
it
Globes,
definitely
all
the
other ones,
award
just not
circuit
the-
definitely acknowledged this movie, but some of the big ones snubbed it.
I mean, that's what they do, man.
Oof. Which we'll go into. Rotten Tomatoes holding very strongly at a 94%, at least at the time of me making it. Audience scores at 82%, and Google scores at 87%. So solid B.
Strong.
That's a really good score.
That's high
Strong.
praise.
Good scores. That much we can take away from that.
Okay. Who's in this
Actors.
movie?
So, you guys should definitely know that Amy Adams is in this movie and that she was not nominated at all.
Mama, she carried.
Oh, this is the first time I'm hearing about it.
No, it's a big thing. I didn't find out about this until after I'd like really like paid attention to the movie, and I was like, whatever about awards. I don't actually like tune in every single time they air. I literally just hear about it after the fact. But hearing about it after the fact and knowing about this movie, not right. It's not right.
It ain't
Look
right.
what they did to my girl.
It ain't right. That ain't right.
You'll see her range. Jeremy Renner.
I have seen her range in fucking
Enchanted.
You want to talk about range?
You want to talk
That's
about
how
range?
you know.
No.
Disenchanted is coming out.
Boy.
Jeremy Renner. I
You
feel
guys-
like he was very big then. I don't think he's very big now.
No, he is not very big now. He is not, but he's had his days, He recently
Y'all dragging
I mean,
him. Y'all drag him through the mud.
Okay, so he was super cool and all, and then like things would come out and you'd be like, and then things during COVID happened, and you're like, oh, and now it's like,
And then he had an app.
And then he had an app.
He what?
Did
now?
you know that?
No.
I don't even want to know.
I don't
do.
even remember what it's called.
Wasn't it called the Jeremy Renner app?
Is that really all that that's just what we called it?
Yeah. I'm pretty
That
sure
sounds like
that's what it was
whack
called.
shit.
Yeah, it was weird.
Some whack shit happened.
Yeah, between that, giant parties during like the beginning of COVID, and everyone was trying to
Oh.
smart, stuff like that.
And I think he lives in like Reno, so
Ah,
like,
fuck.
That's a
northern
red
Nevada,
flag.
So
Big red flag.
y'all know how I feel about that.
Forrest
Anyway.
Whitaker.
Love his
him.
work. The same
Love his
year
body
this
of
came
work.
out, he was in Rogue One. This came out in the same time,
Excited. That's cool.
so he had his moments during this year.
Good for him.
Yeah. Next up is Michael Stuhlbarg,
Who's
who,
in everything.
Honestly,
Sounds familiar.
he's always okay. So he is one of our previous episodes, and I didn't realize they are the same person because
was
he
it
also
Call Me
has
by Your
range.
Name?
Yep,
Right.
He was
We did talk about that.
he's the dad,
Daddy?
and like
Daddy.
this movie,
The monologue.
he's not the dad. He's like, it's a completely different person to me. So I was like, I didn't know that they were the same person. So I do think sleeper range, like good range. compared
Sleeper
to,
range.
like, yeah,
Sleeper agent.
sleeper agent.
I like that.
And then last but not least is Zima, who plays. He's Chinese, and so he is one of the representatives for China in this because it is an international incident. We'll say that for sure.
Okay. Ooh, incident.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
incident episode, international episode. It's a thing,
A worldwide something.
phenomenon. It's an international phenomenon.
Alien superstar.
That's what you are.
I don't know that.
I'm really excited to watch this. I feel like you are so passionate about this right now.
Yeah, I know. I am
So-
excited to finally watch this. I feel like we've pushed this one off for a minute.
I'm excited. I can't wait to have arrived back after watching the movie.
Boo.
Oh, there's so much.
When we return, I will say we have arrived.
Ooh.
That's cute.
Cute.
Ooh.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
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 Welcome to Blunch.
Ketzel, what is Blunch?
So
I'm so glad you asked.
I'm so what's Blunch? I'm so glad you asked. So, you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I've been dying to talk about it.
I've been dying to talk about it.
I love your British accent. I love my favorite British icon, Cardi B. This is a throwback. I do not recall what episode we talked about it. It was an early episode where we mentioned Blunch. I almost want to think it was Knives Out.
Was it Knives Out or Pride and Prejudice?
It was one of the two. They were one right after the other. And I talked about the concept of blunch, which you and I coined. TM.
We
We're
need to add one more TM
TM,
in there.
TM. No, they'll steal it if I don't have that. I don't have 20 TMs to fucking steal it. I don't know who they is, but they'll steal it. And blunch is basically when you get blah lunch, like blah breakfast, blah brunch, really, like a fast food brunch, a McDonald's breakfast, if you will, that kind of shit. And you heighten it with a mimosa, with a breakfast drink. And this is a segment within.
Yeah.
A bit within a bit.
Should we mention that no one knows we're doing this?
Oh my god.
Hi, Dahlia.
Hi, Dahlia. No, we
Hope you enjoy this series.
This limited series. It's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, I have found. Yeah, no, we didn't tell anyone we were doing this. I'm in town, and I thought, let's fuck it up. I thought, why the fuck not? This is what we do anyway. So, Sky, do you want to tell everyone what we're blunching on?
We're blunching Wendy's today.
Wendy's.
And we're eating the potatoes.
Yeah, we got
Drunk.
white girl wasted on Truly's yesterday, and I think hungover is the best time to blunch. Now tell me why Wendy's? Let's discuss why Wendy's.
So Wendy's, in at least our opinion, and I think you agree, and I think Antonio also agrees, and Jenna agrees too. It's the best breakfast.
It busts.
Like fast food breakfast. It's so good. The potatoes are good. I got their cold brew, which honestly is a little bit better than Starbucks, which is so crazy because it's like Wendy's.
You went and lived.
I
until you had the cold brew.
I got the hot honey biscuit.
You go ahead and take a little bite of that.
You already took some bites of it, looks like. Acted brand new. It looks like you already took a couple
It looks mangled already. Oh fuck, man.
I hate that. I'm like putting the mic away when I chew because I hate that sound.
You haven't done like the chewing ASMRs?
No, I hate that.
What kind of ASMRs do you go for?
The head scratching, like or like brushing.
What ASMR do I go for? Oh god, I'm so glad you asked.
I didn't ask, but what do you go
I'm
for?
so glad you brought it up. I used to not really like talking in mine, but then there's certain like syllables that just sound good, like a little, you know,
Little pussy fart.
No,
I love.
no, that's not what I meant.
I'm catching you off guard. Also, we have mimosas, as Ketzel mentioned, because
Ooh, it's not blunt without a mimosa.
it's not blunt without a mimosa. And we have 3 drinks. At least I have 3 drinks. I have one to hydrate me, which is water. I have my energy drink, which is the cold brew, and then I have my fun drink, which is the mimosa. And that, my friends, is ADHD.
And that, my friends, is mental illness. So I usually get stuff at 30th Street Station in Philadelphia. And I don't like to, like, I get my coffee and then I have to get on a train to get to work, and it's like a 20-minute ride. I don't like to take a sip from my coffee because I've been on the train and been like, I need to shit immediately. And Mom, when you're on a train, there's no place to shit. I've considered like getting out at a station before prior, just to shit my pants.
You remember what I told you? When coffee's strong, like I'm gonna have to poop later.
Well, coffee's a diuretic, but like sometimes, I think for me, it's probably my untreated IBS.
Mental illness.
Smoking kills. Thanks for joining us in Blunch. The ketchup. It was the ketchup.
The ketchup?
You don't realize how spicy ketchup can be till it's lingering in your esophagus.
Thanks for joining.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining us. Our first mini episode of Lunch.
Join us.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye. We've arrived.
We have arrived.
Boy, did we arrive.
Tired. I
Oof.
need a nap.
I'm exhausted.
That
need
did
some
not
milk.
go the way I thought it was going to go.
When you said this was your favorite movie, I was like, okay, there's going to be some action, excitement, and then just a little tidbits of Antonio's special sprankles because you have the weirdest.
Stop right there.
taste.
Stop the podcast. What does that entail?
What's a sprinkle?
What's the special?
Sprinkle
What's
is
it?
It's a sprinkle.
And
but
what
I'm
is
just saying it's
Antonio Sprankle?
It's literally like you cannot even describe it at all because he likes a lot of different things.
Mm-hmm.
Where your interests lie are just it's another dimension. So knowing that this was your favorite movie, I was like, okay, I was expecting a little bit of like, the special sprinkle. And it was a lot more sad than I thought it was.
As soon as I was like, yep, this is it.
Oh no.
I was like, oh, it's non-linear? I was like, the Antonio loves that shit.
I think y'all forget that my good sis Antonio do be arty.
I think the only thing
so
this
you're an
movie was
art hoe.
missing was a sleeper agent.
But was Amy Adams Louise not a
Well, I
sleeper
guess
agent?
maybe technically, yeah.
Also, he loves that shit.
She already had been new, okay?
That's true. That was sleeper. She didn't know until midway through.
Right.
Okay.
Damn, okay, so it does have everything you love.
Well, yeah, wow. So much happened that I don't even
All my boxes get checked with this movie.
I feel like we're going to have to just start the summary immediately. Like there's no other than the whatever we just said. We got to go through it bit by bit because there's just no way that we can describe things. Everything was so non-linear.
You guys ready?
As all
You
ever
ready to
be.
rehash this out loud? Because we were silent for a good portion of the movie, and then I would like my high broke. I don't know if I'm just still residually high from yesterday night or what, but like I came back to it and I was like, oh, I gotta say some stupid shit. I gotta ground us. I gotta come back.
I was just trying to watch the movie and you guys were goofing and I was like, this isn't a goofing time, friends.
It starts up not goofy. Well, I did see Sky. You were very like the whole time, very seriously just watching this, considering this.
Sky gets
And then
angry when
Antonio
it's
would
like
come in with like a fart joke and I'm just like, now is not the time.
Did I say a fart joke?
No.
No,
I was like, what?
Equivalent of a fart joke.
what you would fart. Wait, the joke.
What you would fart.
It's the equivalent of a fart joke for you, which you would never make a fart joke, but like I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
This movie starts off with an up type of beginning. Does it not? Does it not?
Yeah. It's like in media sad. That's how it starts. Opening scene is going through a life cycle, watching someone's life flash before their eyes, and it shows Louise Banks, who's a linguistics professor's daughter, Hannah, die of a rare disease, basically. It goes with like her being a little kid, I love you, I hate you, and then finally
Dead.
the little girl passes away within like the end of this 30-second montage, minute-long montage, whatever it is.
And so that set the tone for the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott
Yeah.
I was like, what
this
the
is
fuck?
sad.
What? Sky was like, what the fuck? This is sad. And
It
that's
is.
that's where you gotta start with people sometimes. You just gotta start at their lowest point. And so right after this, it shows Louise
Who's
going
Amy
to
Adams?
work.
Let's make that clear.
Placed by Amy Adams. Going to work and coming into her lecture hall where she's a linguistics professor, and 90% of her class is just absent. No one's there, and she's like, where is everyone? And she's like, whatever, let's just get this on with. She starts to try to talk about Portuguese, and then in typical like student fashion, phones are going off, and she's like, is there something you want to share with the class? Have you ever had to say that?
As a teacher.
Yeah. Not share. Usually it's like, you want to come up here and do this?
That's really aggressive.
I'm pretty aggressive.
What bothered me like the most about that though is like she was like, oh, y'all got something to share with the class, and then the student's like, can you turn on the TV? And I'm just like, in what college is there a TV? But then she turns around, opens the fucking like chalkboard, whiteboard, whatever, and there's a fucking TV behind it, and I'm like, wait, what? So I'm like, this must be a rich ass school or what?
She has money. She teaches at a university.
But you know, even then, they don't make that much money.
Yeah,
it's kind of
university.
the same situation. Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
So
we realized that on TV, the whole reason why everyone's like absent, just going ape shit, and she's just like, what's going on? Don't super care. Let me just go to work. My kid just died sort of situation is the tone set up. Is 12 UFOs have basically landed across the planet.
Gang.
One of them being in Montana, which we're returning to since the Big Eating episode.
And Sonic.
and Sonic.
And Sonic. And Sonic.
And Sonic.
And
Sonic.
forgot about that. Gotta go fast. But so we returned to Montana, which is really cool. I think. And I love
It's beautiful and picturesque.
It's
is what
beautiful
you
and
mean to
picturesque.
say.
Pretty.
it stay pretty.
Yeah.
It really do. And so they have basically said state of emergency, everyone go home. We're going to try to just like get through today, figure out what the hell is going on with these 12 UFOs. The next day, she comes to work because it's the end of the world. What the hell else are you going to do? Go to
Do you
work.
love her because it's typical Antonio fashion that even if the world is ending, you still clock in and show up?
Yeah, you got to put in the effort. You just got
And not only would you show up, you'd be grumbling about it. You'd be like, I can't believe I have to go into work today. It's like, you don't.
Who made you come in?
No one made you come in.
She's the only person on this campus, and she's like, I got nothing else to do. I'm just going to go work.
But then she's like, what's this? And then people come to her because she's a linguist, and they're like, maybe you can translate some things. And then she's like, kind of got to do this in person.
Bloop.
And on the helicopter ride there, she meets Ian Donnelly, silly, goofy, nerdy boy.
Played by...
Physicist.
The Jeremy Renner app.
Jeremy Renner.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I was trying to put down like...
Jesus Christ.
Oh, my.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, my.
Louder.
Oh, my.
So
can
he
we...
has like this...
Oh, go ahead. Can we agree none of us
He
would
has-
smash him, right?
Not anymore. I used to have a crush on Jeremy Renner.
I'm good.
Really?
And a hard pass for me.
It's a pass now because I know like some of the things that he's like kind of done.
But
since,
you
like,
you
COVID,
would have
and it's
smashed
just
before?
kinda- Oh yeah.
No.
You know what movie actually made me be like, oh, I
No.
really like him. 28 Weeks Later.
No.
Yeah, I did watch
Have
that.
you ever seen that one?
Yeah, I did. The sequel.
Mhm.
The sequel.
The sequel.
The Squeakquel.
Anyway, physicist-y, Ian Donnelly is like, hi. And
Hi.
he reads words to
Hi.
Louise. He reads words to Louise that are her own words, and I'm like, what a terrible pickup line. Almost
a
as bad
way-
as that guy from yesterday telling me, you suck at dancing. You want to
Dude.
dance with me.
They
Dude,
did
yeah,
what
this
now?
guy- that guy said that, and then he came up to me and was like, "Oh, was that a bad pickup line?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, it kind of was."
You
He's like,
insulted
"Oh,
her.
What would work? What would work? Do you know what would work?" And I was like, "I don't know. I have a boyfriend, so leave me alone." Good luck, though.
You know what would work? I love your dancing. Let's dance.
He also looked like my new pal Diana said that he looked like a Walmart version of Ryan Reynolds, and we were like laughing about it. And then she said it to his face, and I was like, "My good sis Diana."
So yeah,
She's a Gemini, and I was like, "I love you."
I love
when he said that to me,
I love Gemini.
I love this face you presented to me.
when he said that to me, I was like so surprised. I'm like, well then go fucking dance on your own. I'm like,
Leave.
fuck off. I said fuck off.
Jesus.
Anyway, in the land of bad pickup
Straight
lines,
clubs are wild.
in the land of bad pickup lines, don't say that someone sucks at dancing when they clearly want to dance with you. Anywho, yeah, they get briefed on what they call the shell, which is the UFOs, but I think they look like eggs, but they really are just like I don't know how to.
They're
we'll
sleek.
Post a picture
They're
about
sleek
it.
and sexy. Those
They're
shells.
cool.
Thank you. So while I was like looking up some parts of this movie, it's actually based off of an actual asteroid, Eunomia 15. So they like took what it looks like and kind of like just like streamlined it for the design of the UFOs.
Cute.
You know me, a nerd. Am I right?
All right.
I adore this movie.
Right.
I love this movie.
So they get briefed. They're like, y'all got to learn how to talk to them. And then they're like, wait, what? And then everybody goes in there. There's like a little team, little squad with Louise and Ian. And then they meet the aliens. And it was just terrifying. I was just like, yo, what the fuck? And like they meet in such a weird way. They like ascend the shell, but then they're like somehow sideways because it has its own atmosphere. It's really wild, like visually
It's
spectacular,
cool.
truly. But
The CGI was a little.
Oh, the CGI is a little bit
There's a couple
sus in certain
parts where I was like, "Oop."
Every movie has to have its flaws.
hey, leave it alone. But these aliens are
I'm
so
gonna point
wild.
'em out.
They're called heptapods. That's what they call them because they have 7 limbs, which is hep.
Hep-
7. Right?
Yep.
So yeah, and it's really cool.
You
'cause
screamed.
They're like chit chatting. Yeah, they're chit chatting though, and that was cool. But just in a series of clicks and droning. So I'm like, wow, language. And then they proceed to name them because they don't have like spoken words just yet. So they named them Abbott and Costello, which I did look up while
Comedians.
I was in the bathroom.
But so in other countries, because that's not something well known, they named them Tom and Jerry.
That's cute. I kind of wish I would have kept that too. That's cute.
They
Little bit
should
of fun.
They should have.
Yeah.
Um,
But the Abbott and Costello like reference to communication, I think, is really cool for like you said, you had a linguistics class that played this movie. It's just another layer to this movie.
Yeah, you want to talk about that?
Sure. Well, I also want to say that in that same first session, they realized that they like ink out like a written language thing.
They made them ink, and then we learned.
And then they said D's nuts.
in their secret language.
They did.
Or
I mean,
spirals.
I would have fucked with them. Yeah. So I don't want to flex. My degree, my master's degree is in applied linguistics. And because I was around a bunch of linguistics nerds, they wanted to do a showing of this movie because the way they speak about language and teaching language was just very accurate. Like, I think the scene right afterwards where they're like questioning her why they have to teach all these like rudimentary words, and how she breaks it down. Like, if you don't know this and they don't know that, like there's all these misunderstandings. Like that shit is like the kind of shit we learned. And also the way she like takes off her suit to talk to them, because language is so visual and like a lot of like miming things when you're teaching language. It's just, I don't know, just very accurate for a fucking sci-fi movie. Like the research done into linguistics was chef's kiss.
They did
Amazing.
so much of it, and so much doesn't actually make it into the fucking movie. Like they made like 72 of the logograms, and there's only like 16.
Like a
of them,
whole
I think.
language they
Or
fucking
25.
created, right?
They created
So
an
fucking
entire,
cool.
like language.
Like it might be boring, but when they're talking about like all the way that like their visual language, like what they all mean, that's just so fucking interesting to me as like someone who like loves language. It's so fucking cool.
I just thought it was amazing that this was a book and then they put it into film. I really am having a hard time grasping what that might have looked like,
Oh,
Antonio?
okay. So they within the book and they very briefly touch base on the fact that words versus sounds, or written words versus sounded words to them, are completely separate. They actually refer it to as heptapods A, which is all their spoken language, which has nothing to do with heptatod B, which is the written language. Like, if you write out a word like abracadabra, every single letter contributes to the birth of a word and everything like that. And sounding it out is really important to figuring out what it really means, whereas they have no relation to each other in the book. And they really briefly touched base on the fact that the heptapod sciences are vastly different. So all of their broader concepts like calculus, physics, and everything like that, they understand. But basic algebra and like geometry
Oh,
they
that's
struggled
weird.
with because of the fact that they live a non-linear timeline.
Wild.
It's like a whole thing.
That makes
They
so much
actually
sense.
boil down. They boil so much down to like just a couple of like really poignant moments in the movie, and some of the things are vastly different comparatively, just in order to create a movie. Like it's not 12; it's like 115 in the book, and there's no big overarching theme for it. It's just a short story. It's not. It's just a concept. Like they turned a concept into a whole like narrative for this movie.
I love how you turn that out. As we continue, Louise and Ian are studying the language, and then Louise starts having these like weird like flashbacks, or what we think are flashbacks, about her daughter, who we saw die in the beginning.
Yep.
Great. So we're all like traumatized again. And she's having to live through this. And then she says some weird things in between, which allude to what we learn later, but it's like, wow. Okay, so
Wow.
So many secret tools
clearly
in this movie.
Yes.
There is one thing though during like the little flashbacks. She has that dream sequence, you know, the one where it's like the heptapod in the room. You guys remember that at all? When she's like talking, they talk about something called Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, and I feel like you guys kind of touched base on this in an earlier episode, as to how you think in a specific language. And I would assume for the both of you, English is your primary language, but your parents probably think in Spanish, and how that may actually affect the way that they think in other things, but like, and how this works. One of the things that they kind of bent the rules with is it only applies to your first language. Like reading a new language does not change your brain. You guys would definitely know that, considering you speak multiple languages. But this one, she's starting to read, and so she's having all these vivid flashbacks, and the idea is that like as you read or learn a language, it's supposed to change you, but it's the original hypothesis is only your first language,
which makes sense because that's how you make sense of the world when you're developing language, right? So like there's certain languages that the fact that there's words for one thing but not for another thing, or like that we might like have like a more collective meaning versus just like two people, like, you know, like there's just the ways that like pronouns are used and stuff that like just
what you say, what you don't say.
Yeah,
it's wild.
Or like
even like just
the fact that
the
we have a
appropriation
formal
of words.
Yeah, or like the fact that in Spanish we have like a formal you, like,
Yeah.
and the idea of formality, and like that goes to like the way that we think about respecting elders and stuff.
Nuance.
Yeah, it's like that kind of stuff changes the way. You know, I think that's
It's wild.
Yeah, it's
But
really
you know,
cool.
unlike other countries like that we've saw in the movie, like they didn't have this like same kind of language thing, because English is not everybody's like primary language. So like in the movie, China is using, I think, mahjong tiles to communicate, which is like also very interesting. But everybody has different ways, and they get like this really cryptic response from China's research, because like, and I made this point in the movie, it was just really like funny. I'm like, oh yeah, it seems like everybody's collaborating, right? And I'm just like, this seems too good to be true.
When you said
and
that,
it really
I was, me and Antonio were like,
it's too good to be true. You know, they're gonna like gatekeep and shit. So they've been gatekeeping, and then this issue arises, right? Like, clearly things are nuanced in other languages. Things have different meanings, and so what they gather from those mahjong tiles with the heptapods in China is that they say offer weapon.
Use weapon. China. So this is one of those big things in the movie. Right before China figures something out, they hear something, and Louise has to translate, and that's when she realizes that, and they go up to clarify, why are you here? Louise gets the response, offer weapon, and as they come down, they try to be like, what's going on? That's really weird. Maybe they don't understand what the word weapon means. Maybe they meant tool or like science or something like that. And then China gets the words use weapon. So
Right.
China is like use weapon. Montana is
My
offer
research
weapon.
says one thing, their research says another.
Exactly. And so that's why the communication pitfalls were so like everywhere. You have to like remember the exact words someone says, and that's why like the semantics of it do matter sometimes. for people.
Yeah.
So then the world shuts down. They're like, nope. Mm-mm. We're not going to talk to them. We're not going to talk to you guys. In fact, we're going to go to war. And I'm just like, that's exactly
There it
what I
is.
expected.
There she is.
Exactly. And when they go up there to clarify what they mean on their end, the heptapods,
Some rogue soldiers, right?
some rogue soldiers is what it says. They've planted a bomb because they've heard use weapon and offer weapon, and now they're like, no, these guys are bad. They're bad news. They're bad news bears. And
Boo.
they're bad news. They gotta go. And so they basically plant a bomb. And right before their bomb goes off, Louise finally gets through, and they have like a real like
They have this insane series of messages, like very tiny, and a lot of them.
Very complex.
It's so
Super
complex. Like you have to see
they have
a
a
picture of it.
connection. Yeah.
But like it happens in an instant because like
all
they
of the
realize
info they want is there.
They realize like, oh shit, there's a bomb here. So Abbott ejects Ian and Louise, who are there by themselves.
Which is very nice.
Out.
Thank you, Abbott.
It is.
Very nice.
Right?
It was just so wild. And you know, then we flash into them waking up because they got blowed up.
Mm-hmm.
They threw up.
Abbott threw them up from the shell.
He threw up.
Anyways, so after the bomb goes off, everyone's now like, dude, they're gonna do something really bad now. We should all we gotta go. We gotta leave. They're gonna retaliate.
Guys, I gotta go.
We gotta go.
I gotta go.
We gotta go. But they don't leave and they don't do anything. They kind of just like distance themselves from the earth, and
As they should.
I just need some space.
Fair.
a little bit.
I'm
just,
disengaging.
an extra half a mile. You just need to disassociate for a little while.
Then leave. I'm just kidding.
Then leave.
During this time, everyone's in communications blackout, and Ian finds out that it's not what the message that they received, which was important, but what's missing. And he realizes that they only have 1/12 of everything, which just goes to show that they have to collaborate.
Don't gatekeep.
Yeah, it was.
Don't.
I was gonna say when it said he was like, "Oh, the distance between them is 0.8333." I'll have to tell you the fraction, and he paused, and I'm like, "Please tell me the fraction. I don't know what fraction that is. I don't know math." The aliens
wow, that's
is making us play nice.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So General Shang does not want to do that.
Fair.
He issues an ultimatum.
He's like, y'all gonna die. Just sheep just following each other, demands, blah, blah, blah.
And they're having this like tense conversation, and they're all trying to figure out how are we going to get them to all work together. And the answer is like half a mile up in the air because they're all communicating up there somehow.
But what they do is they send out a teeny tiny little pod elevator. And then Louise just magically extracts herself from everybody going, we gotta do something. And she's just like, I'm just gonna go over here.
Yeah.
And so she steps into the scary elevator, and then it lifts her up. But it really doesn't lift her up because I feel like it just like it's like a teleporter, because suddenly she's like fucking floating. And shit.
Yeah,
I'm
questionable. I think that's up to interpretation. I don't know what the fuck happened to her.
I don't know what the fuck happened. Like,
Teleporting, astral projecting.
and then like the fucking
Breathing in exotic atmospheres.
Yeah. It was like, it seemed humid and gross.
It
in
looked
there.
it
She
looked
was
brisk.
swimming?
I thought it looked very brisk, not humid and hot.
Really?
It looked
I thought it
really
hot.
Yeah, I thought it looked
hot,
kind of
humid.
misty, and
No,
I kept forgetting to say this
Misty
earlier.
and brisky.
Yeah,
I feel like when I breathe in, I'm breathing in like.
Do you want to
water.
say
Like a
crispy
fog
one
machine?
more time?
It felt really brisk and crispy.
I felt like I
Okay.
was like, I imagine that's like if someone just left a fog machine running forever, that's what that room would feel like being inside of. But I feel like this is where you would chime in and say that's where the CGI was questionable.
Can we
Oh,
talk about her
also, yeah.
hair?
It was
Yeah.
very,
I get it.
for it being like everything else being so nice,
Uh-huh.
that I was like, odd.
Yeah.
A little bit of an odd
Odd.
choice, a little bit for her specifically, just her CGI
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure what direction would have went better, but
No, I mean, I think it's just like the visual of it all. But it needed to happen because then you can see like all of the whooshing around, right?
exactly.
And that made it okay, but like it didn't look great.
It wasn't
And they lingered
fantastic.
in
It's
for
like
so
the
long.
opening scene of Rain of
Right.
Fire being super bad CGI,
Oh,
but the rest of it
God.
somehow being like, palatable.
You
in the end.
can't keep bringing
But-
up Rain of Fire.
He can and he will.
This guy's like, wait a second, let her speak.
Gosh. Okay.
But so during this conversation with Costello, they learned that Abbott died
No!
after the bomb.
We
My-
can't
my
have
guy
anything
Abbott.
nice.
For Abbott.
Cheers to him.
And Costello is like, we're here to give you this weapon. And we're giving it to you because in 3,000 years,
We're gonna need your help.
you're going to help us.
Yeah.
And, she's
And then
like,
she's like, wait, what? And then he's like, you already have it. You already have the gift. And then she's like, wait, what? And it was amazing, I think, in this scene. I just want to point out that I don't want to say he because it's it. Costello was showing Louise like a bunch of like, the language, right? Spelled out with the squid ink.
Mm.
And she was just like straight up reading it. And I was just like, incredible. Like just a couple of months of like hardcore research. It's impeccable.
Right?
Like, how that happened. And I'm so glad for subtitles. Thank you, subtitles.
yeah, no, actually, those subtitles are built in directly into the movie for it.
Yes.
And it's just so much more fluid when she's understanding it. And it just goes to show how the weapon works and how as you read it and start to understand time differently, which she's realizing as she gets through this, you already know that you know it. It's kind of like that scene out of Harry Potter where he's like, I already knew I was going to do it because I've already done it. And so she just automatically knows how this conversation is going to go. And this is where we realize that
Her flashbacks are actually
premonitions.
like memory flashes
Flash
of
forwards.
the future.
Dun, dun, dun. They're flash forwards. Now we know that Louise hasn't actually had a daughter yet, but she knows she's going to have a daughter. And we know that she
She's gonna
knows
die.
that the daughter is going to die from an incurable disease.
Yeah. So sad. This is the cerebralness that you wanted to bring into this podcast, Antonio.
That's my Sprankle.
That's his Sprankle.
Cerebral Sprankle.
No,
But knowing all of this flash forwards and blah, 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 now Louise is like, shit, I really got to make this like little alliance happen. But how is she going to do that? Because like the people that she's siding with are totally like, who gives a fuck? And then
not our problem.
it's not my problem. Like, and
That was the exact opposite energy of, but of course.
Yeah. Who gives a fuck?
but clearly nobody wants to get together. So she has these like flash forwards of some conversation she has at a later time where the situation has already been resolved. And so it was revealed to her through her flash forwards that she talked to General Shang and he said, I'll never forget what you told me. And I can't believe that that's what you told me to change my mind. You're the reason why we're here today. Thank you. And it was his wife's like last dying words.
Which were
And
D's nuts.
So she's like, so then
Ligma.
she got D's nuts and had to deliver the message. And she was like with those guys that are like, who gives a fuck? And she stole a satellite phone from them. The CIA agent who is Call Me By Your Name Dad.
Michael Stuhlbarg.
And-
Halpern in this movie.
Yes.
Yeah, he did not look the same. I could see how you were like, oh, that's a different guy.
Nah, my dick was flaccid, dude. I was like, nah, never mind.
Totes. But like he was kind of like the, baddie or whatever, like opposition force. Not even like the army guy, Forrest Whitaker's character, like was, so much of an obstacle than the CIA guy. But she's just
Yeah.
like, fuck you, I'm gonna take your phone. And then everyone's like, trying to get out because they're trying to run away. And then someone's like, beep boop, beep boop, beep boop. And they're like, there's like a satellite phone being in use right now. And they're like, wait, what? Whose? Yours? And then he's like, wait, what?
I'm in trouble.
Oops. So she stole his sat phone because she needed to call General Shang.
And have that conversation.
And
the flash
everybody,
forward shows all the info to her, which she uses in the present because she's able to pull info from at any point of her life, from beginning to end now at this point. And so she knows his number, knows what to say, and it's like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
she gets cornered though as she's making this call. She's speaking Mandarin, impeccable. Amy Adams, wow,
Impeccable.
what a
She didn't know
treasure.
it before this movie.
And as she's cornered, guns, on her face and stuff, fucking Jeremy Renner, Ian, just comes out of nowhere and he's like, "What's happening?" And then she's like, "I gotta make this call. Help me." And he's like, "Okay." Because he's in love with her. And he puts his freaking body in the way of the guns. And I thought that was really, like, nice.
You didn't like him at first.
When you first saw him?
I didn't like him at first. I didn't want them to fall in love. I was like, fuck this guy. I don't want a romance. But then I was like, But then as we progress, because we'll find out, and we'll talk about this in a second, other things. But yeah, she successfully makes that call. Everybody's mad. But truly, she just fixed things. And then we know that things get resolved at a later point because she sees those flash forwards. So everybody is like, okay, job well done. The shells leave because now the message has been relayed, because suddenly everybody's okay with not gatekeeping, and they're like, China shared all of their communications, Russia, all these other countries, and then we're like, yay. But also it's like,
it's going to be a long process, because just because they have all the info, it would have taken years just for their 1/12, and now it's going to take years for all 12 of these pieces to come together and for them to figure it out, which is why it's in 3,000 years.
Oh, so once they figure it out and they can learn this language, then they're basically giving us the gift of premonition as a human race for everyone.
I think it's still individualized for
too deep
people.
for me right
Maybe
now.
I don't know.
Dolly's like,
Originally,
"Arr."
so I actually don't super remember what they give in the book. If it was everyone gets individual pieces, artificial gravity, faster than light travel, immortality, and just other things, and it all comes together, and they all have to eventually reach the race out there. But in this one, it's literally they just give them all this info about their civilization probably and figure it out, because in 3,000 years, you guys are supposed to help us. We already know this
Don't know
because
how,
of
but
our
okay.
lifespan. But they already knew all of this. So the aliens live non-linear, so they already know everything's going to happen within their lifespan, and they know that they need to do this now, at this exact moment, with the right people, in order for it to work in 3,000 years, I guess.
but this makes us think about our lives right now, or, these characters' lives. Louise already knows what's going to happen in her lifetime. And we know, Ian doesn't know, that they're going to have a daughter and she's going to die. And she asks him, if you knew what was going to happen in your life, would you change those decisions? And he's like, I think I would just say how I feel more often. And we know, that's why I was so not happy, because you could tell throughout the whole movie that Louise was not pleased with the father because he left. And I'm just like, yo, what the fuck? And then we had these beautiful tiny little clips of them falling in love and being parents, and I'm just like, and you leave.
But
you leave.
His thing, which we find out somewhere in the middle of the movie, or towards the very end when she realizes it, that because it's Ian that's going to be the father, she knew that the daughter was going to pass away, and she still decided to have the daughter, whereas
Without telling him.
without telling him or letting him know, and he wasn't ready for that, and he may never have been ready for that, because he was never going to be okay with having something that he knew he would have to lose in his lifetime. And so you realize that at some point the Louise and Ian will break up, and then the daughter will live somewhat of a life with divorced parents, and then she'll finally pass away due to this incurable disease. And Louise still did all this and still made that decision because she thought it was worth it the entire time. Having the span of that life with Hannah, which is the daughter's name, it was worth it. And with Ian and everything like that. So it was just this insane, non-linear timeline movie.
It's better to have loved and lost.
Exactly. Is where she comes from. And Ian's like, no, it's not better.
Whose
And
side
then
are you
that's
on?
the end.
That's the end. Whose side are you on in that regard?
In that regard?
Do you think she made the right choice and still having the child?
Yeah.
I am also on that vein.
I'm on that vein, I think, right now. Or in the context of this movie, yes. I'm on that vein. Like, knowing it and just giving all your time to your daughter would be worth it. Which is why all the moments that we see are always, like, super poignant.
I wonder if the daughter knew at some point that Luis knew. Because if I was the daughter, I'd be fucking mad about it, TBH. I'd be like, you brought me here deliberately for me to die? Like, to suffer? Like, I'd be fucking mad about it, but I don't know. I've lingered with that question at the end.
Deliberate, though?
No, I don't know if she knew.
If it was always going to happen, it didn't matter if, like, she had the baby now or later. Like, it was always going to happen.
Couldn't
It was always
you-
going to happen. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
But
It
if
was
you know,
basically-
couldn't you choose to, like, not have a child?
Stop it.
You
No,
wouldn't know
because-
because the way that it all works is you see everything that happens from point A to point B of your life. Like, it's going to happen. You're not going
You're
not
to make
going
those
change.
decisions.
One of his stories, I should say this about Ted Chiang, is the actual truth that free will does not exist.
And I was
and how
going to say,
everyone
because
wrestles with that.
Because, like, were we to know what's going to happen, I feel like reality is some people might try to not make it happen. So I was curious if there was any free will. It turns out this person does not particularly. Like,
No,
yeah.
so he touches a lot on free will and choice, and a lot of his... Actually, you know what? I can think of all my favorite ones being about, like, people making decisions and how they have repercussions and everything. But one of them, and it goes to show that, like, it's a very short story, and it talks about just this little toy, and it knows exactly right when you're about to press it. No one cannot press the button right before it lights up. You can't psych it out. It just literally, every time you go to press the button, it lights up right beforehand. Right before you actually press it. And you can't psych it out. And how everyone starts to just realize, I don't have free will. It already knows I'm going to do it. It knows I'm going to do it or not do it. It knows I'm going to do it or not do it. And so they freak out. And it goes on to showing that, like, it doesn't matter because I was going to have to write this short story anyways. His work is really cool for short stories, and it's really good stuff.
It's so different from, like, the usual, if you know parts of the past, and, like, because usually, like, not to make it all about Harry Potter, but, like, for example, that thing with, like, time travel and stuff, it's like, well, once you know something, it branches off into different possibilities, but in this case, it's like, no, there's no other possibilities, it's just what's gonna happen. The end.
But anyways, the end. Thanks for coming.
Did y'all like it?
Yeah, it was good.
I did.
I don't think I'll watch it again though.
It's a one-timer for me.
I will say, I'd only seen it the once. Watching it the second time, I texted Antonio at some point, and I'm like, it's delicious. It's delicious, the little crumbs they leave, and then, like, knowing, what's gonna happen, so, like, the little bits that they visually show you. It was pleasing. It was pleasing.
I'm just saying, I probably will only watch
No, it
it
makes
one time
sense.
because it was also very heavy.
It is.
Yeah, it's very heavy. I think that's why it's like a one-time watch. It's just like it's so heavy, and the subject matter is also like complicated. People didn't like Tenet because they thought it was too complicated of a concept, and I'm just like, the more that I watch it and the more I understand it, but it still is confusing.
I haven't seen it.
Nonetheless.
I've seen
It's
it.
a good film.
It's a
It's
Nolan,
much more
right?
like it touches
and
more.
it's also palindrome,
yeah,
like Hannah.
it's a palindromic movie.
But yeah, definitely worth a watch for sure.
Definitely worth watching. I wish you guys would at least watch it one more time in your lives because there's so
Guys, like,
much to
"No!"
appreciate a second time. There's so much to appreciate on the second run. I mean, we'll talk about it, and man, I can go on about like the rest of this stuff forever and ever because I do enjoy this movie and I love a lot of aspects about this movie, and I think it's hard to say that like you can appreciate it all the first time and then never appreciate it again because it's good.
I mean, we did this with mine and Dahlia's movie, and I think it's obvious by now, seeing as how much you've gushed about this film. But why Arrival? What is it? Why is it
Arrival?
I just think it checks all my boxes.
Mm-hmm.
I like the high concept, dirty sci-fi. I love the cinematography. I love other things that we're going to talk about here in a second. And I just, I think there's rewatchability, and there's just parts of it that are just like, it's soothing in some respects.
That's cerebral.
Man, watching it today
Sprankle.
again. Yeah, watching it again today, I was like, it's almost like watching it for the first time all over again, even though I might have watched this like a couple weeks ago on like just in the background noise. But watching it like with the full intention of talking about it afterwards is a different thing.
I know you didn't have your phone on you.
My
whole
phone
time.
was a whole like
Stayed away.
10
away.
feet away. It was a whole fucking city as far as I was concerned, and I did not care.
Wow.
I mean, I had my watch, so whenever Q texted me, I could see.
You know when like babies are throwing a fit, so they put on like soothing like videos and shit to calm them down? That's what we put on for you. We just put on Arrival. It'd be
like
like,
Antonio's having a day. Time to put Arrival on.
Hotcast, Solidcast. So, let's talk about this, actually.
So, I do have to say, because I was looking it up, because I was like, did this really get, like, no Oscar nominations? It did, and it did win an Oscar.
It won one, but, like,
When
one of
you
the
say
biggest
snubbed,
ones. Oh, they snubbed. She didn't even get nominated.
No,
for
I know, but
Amy
when you
Adams.
say this movie was snubbed, I assumed that it didn't get a nomination, period.
Oh, she didn't get a nom for leading actress.
What did it
So
win
And-
for?
she was snubbed. The movie was
Amy
snubbed.
Yeah, no,
Adams.
Amy
Adams was, because it won Best Sound Editing,
yes.
Which is...
which
Which
I
it-
was like, that
you-
makes sense. That makes
that
sense.
definitely made sense. But it was also disqualified for soundtrack
Why?
because of what is it? In the Nature of Daylight, Max Richter. It's like the first and last song playing. It's used in other movies, so that makes it not an original score or soundtrack,
Damn,
which
that
means
sucks.
it's not available. It's not allowed to get the soundtrack or score. And
That sucks.
you guys have
That's
heard
sad.
me play it. I got it in other things, I think. Academy Awards, Saturn Awards, a whole bunch of other things. Like it made the circuits, but specifically, I think it was Oscars. There are a lot of things that Amy Adams wasn't nominated for. It wasn't eligible for. It was just a whole bunch of things that just kind of like weren't working for this movie. And you guys watched this movie.
It had a lot of good sounds.
It had a lot of like, that 94 is like deserved by critics. So for it to not be available for some of those things, it kind of sucked.
Yeah. Amy did great.
Knowing that. Wow. Yeah,
Oh,
she
she did
really
really
did
great.
amazing.
Great.
The year for that, the 2017 Academy Awards, fucking Emma Stone won for La La Land, and I was like, I remember watching that and being like, what the
No.
fuck?
It was, if
I was like, that makes no sense.
if I had to pick a redhead to win that year, would have been Amy.
And she didn't even
But she
get
wasn't
the
even nominated.
So that's why a
Whack.
lot of people were like, "Oop, why?"
So I just wanted to clarify that, because when you say snubbed,
She specifically was.
she
snubbed.
was snubbed, though,
She
for
was
sure.
snubbed.
But the movie was nominated for Best Picture.
Yep.
That was cool.
Wow.
Congratulations to you,
Costume.
Antonio.
Congratulations. Sorry she didn't win.
I'm very sorry.
He thinks about that every night.
He does.
But
I do want to just say that the fucking sound, like the score, was so haunting and awesome and beautiful.
I play it just for shits and giggles.
Of course you do.
sometimes.
That's frightening,
It
Antonio.
rattles.
It's
It rattles in your
so-
chest. You know.
There's some really good ones in there that just seem super like upbeat and happy, and it's just really crazy. While I was reading through some of the stuff, so the score is made at the same time the movie is being made. So and like Dennis Villeneuve partnered with Johan Johannesson for a couple of other movies like Blade Runner or not Blade Runner specifically, he left that one, but a couple of other movies with him, and they like to make the movie and the score at the same time, sort of. And so it's a self-feeding work. Like it feeds itself. It feeds the score feeds the movie sort of situation. So that was one of those things that I thought was really cool to see.
Also, this is so... I mean, you said Dennis. He did Dune.
Yes, he did Dune, and
He did
I
Dune.
forgot to say that this movie like walked so Dune could kind of run.
Yeah, watching this, I was like, I see why he's the one doing Dune.
And I think
Part one and
there's
two.
when Dennis Villeneuve did it, like you can really see that he has a need to make communication a big part of the movie. Like Dune's multiple uses of not just like languages, but like sign language. I feel like communication is a really good like motif for his works. And I was just like,
I love that.
That's why I kind of want to see what is it, Blade Runner? I haven't seen Blade Runner, and I kind
Blade
of wanna watch
Runner
it.
2, what was it?
2049.
Yeah, I saw
Seven.
that one. I haven't seen the original Blade Runner, but I saw that one.
I've
that
never
was
seen
really
either.
good.
Yeah, it's all right. Cult classic.
He might have done a couple of others that I can't think of, but this movie is definitely one of my favorites.
Costumes.
Costume design, set design, location.
I think it was good.
Yeah,
Like
it's-
locations.
Location was
Awesome.
great. Can't say I noticed too much about their clothes. It seemed just, you know. Yeah, I was gonna say fuck the costuming, the design of the stuff of not cephalopods, the heptapods. Very nice.
Very cool.
Very
Yeah.
nice. And the shell too. I really like the spaceship design. Very sleek.
I do
Yeah.
too.
very. They just went and like did a lot of research
because they were so cute. Like
and-
the aliens were cute. You know.
They were
Which
cute. I
made
was
it,
like,
yeah, which made me sad when Abbott died. They were not only nice, but they were kind of cute. And I know we're getting past the War of the World trauma, so there was still a little bit of like, eh,
the aliens were cute in
they
that
were
too.
Yeah, but they were cute.
They look like little cats.
So I love their design.
Lead us with your favorite quote.
I
Straight up, I never not
I
have
don't
one.
remember
I don't
any
have
words.
I don't have one.
I don't have one.
I do.
Lead
There
us,
it is.
Antonio.
It's so stupid though. So when they're all talking at the table and Michael Stuhlbarg says something stupid, Amy
Oh.
Adams goes, "Why do I have to talk to him?"
Yeah.
That's you.
Yeah.
That's you.
It's the most like quippy line out of the entire movie, and for some reason, like a movie that's all about communication is like, "I don't want to talk to you."
Yeah, love that. I
And
love
I-
their sounds.
I think
I-
maybe
There are plenty of like speeches or lengths that go. Or
Oh
anything
yeah,
like
that were good. I just could not tell you any of them.
no. I will say like I like the endy part where she's like, if you could change anything about your life, if you already knew it was going to happen, would you make other decisions? I like that.
So, do you think it was worth the hype? That's the first question. Then I'll ask the second one. But worth it? Worth it? 94?
Worth the hype?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
It's all
Yes.
he's got a gun under the table.
I know.
go on your dick.
Wham!
Now, but
SOS with my eyes.
do you think you have missed out having not watched it?
I think I missed out on the little following that it had because I think I remember a lot of like talk about how exciting this movie was because it was so different. I think at that point there hadn't been like many recent like alien type films.
I think it'd been a while.
Or maybe there was. I think like what
Wasn't that-
Prometheus and like those came out in the mid 2010s. Like so there was some alien movies, but like not as thought provoking as this one. This one was kind of like a game changer if I recall the marketing of it. I mean, it definitely like
It's
I
almost
think
like
it was
the
worth
aliens
hype.
weren't even the most like important thing about this movie.
No, it's
It's
like
the
it
politics
had
of
other
it.
messages.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like I think that I missed out on that, but like I know it has like a following. I would say I only missed out like I would be sad because I missed out on like that initial like reaction to it, but
You get to have it now.
I get to
Yeah,
have it
I
now.
don't feel like I missed out per se because I'm pretty not very good about watching like all Oscar movies anyway, or like Oscar boner movies or whatever, you know. So I don't feel like I missed out. I'm glad I watched it though.
Yes.
Now
Get to
I
enjoy
don't
it
hate
here.
that I watched it.
And now I know why you like it so
Yeah,
much.
and
There
now I
was so
know-
much information I learned about you throughout this whole process that
I
you're one of your
love this
favorite
movie.
authors, the
Like, it's-
subject matter you
yeah.
like,
Ooh,
the
so,
sprankle.
so much Sprankle. It's such a good movie.
It is.
this
I
movie.
love this film.
It is a good movie.
Ah.
It's just very a lot.
It's a very
Very much.
Really it's
She's
it's
very
a lot
heavy.
to
Very
carry
too
whenever I
much.
like.
She's a lot.
Dude,
She's
Look,
heavy.
I carry the movies with me because there's weight to them.
Carrie, in your love with me.
Yeah. There's that one movie that you're like, I watched this movie and I keep thinking about it, and it's all like the most fucking depressing shit. It's either nasty or depressing or shit.
There is no
That's
between.
tea.
Are we gonna say the name? Are we gonna speak it aloud?
Nope. Episode over.
Wait, what?
Whether it's nasty or if it's depressing as shit.
Oh, so it's
You know
either,
which one's
it's
the
either
nasty.
feast or arrival.
Yeah. I can be your ankle or I can be your David.
Oh, and that's it for this episode of Sit Down, Lucy. Sit down, Lucy.
Sit down, Lucy.
Someone needs a nap. Get him a nap.
Oh my god.
Bye, losers.
I need a nap.
I do too.
Okay, so
I've
I
been
didn't.
saying I need a nap.
I didn't want to say it during the recording, but I watched Hatching last night.
You
And-
did?
So I watched Hatching, and so the movie might be about amidophilia.
I feel sick.
Nope.
Hey,
I
no,
feel
no,
sick.
don't stop it. Keep it going. Remind me which philia that is.
The one, it's about vomiting.
I feel so sick. I gotta
yeah.
go. I'm
Yeah. It was a bit much,
Get out.
and there was a lot of vomiting and a lot of I threw up, and so I just wanted to touch base on.
And you were so
actually,
hard.
it might be about. I was like, do I bring it up during my favorite movie? No, I'll leave it.